Hey y'all, Shade Tree Joe, we're back again, and I'm working on Kimmy's Jimmy again today. The breeze kicked back up, big surprise, but I'm not holding out much hope for this motor. The truck was parked somewhere between, somewhere around 2015 was when it was last tagged. So it may have sat for more than 2 years like I was originally told. Not really shocked. Looking at the water damage that I could find on the push rods, I think this thing's been sitting for a while. I really do. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a quick minute. Okay, this is one of the push rods I pulled out of the motor after running it under the wire wheel yesterday. They're all pitted very, very badly. And I've got a set of push rods I can throw in it, but I don't think that's really going to be much of an issue. Here in just a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pull the spark plugs out. It's been sitting for 24 hours, more or less, with vinegar in the cylinders. And like I said, there's diesel in the oil pan as well, so it's got a really nice salad dressing going on in there. But yeah, I don't hold much hope for this. I think that ultimately we're looking at pulling this motor out and probably sending it off to a machine shop to have work done on it, because I don't think it's going to run in its current condition. But like I said, I have a motor for it, so machine shop can wait a long while, and we're going to go ahead and get this one cleaned up and running. No, we're not. We're going to go ahead and get the other motor in. I'll probably start in on that next week. Okay, so like I said, there's been vinegar sitting in the cylinders for the last 24 hours or so, give or take. And I put the spark plugs back in. I left them as they were when they came out of the motor. So if you saw the video, you saw how loaded up with rust they were, and you can see what exactly the vinegar did to those. So vinegar does work. However, that being said, I just put a wrench on the crank bolt, and yeah, no, it's not even trying to turn. Now, there is nothing holding the valves in place. There's no push rods, there's no rocker arms. So the valves are not the problem. It's not hydrolocked or anything else. The spark plugs are out of the holes. So the only thing that's holding things up at this point is rust and corrosion that's got the motor completely froze up. The lifters might be frozen into the bores, which means that the cam might keep things from turning. But I think that this motor's probably been underwater longer than the Titanic. So that being said, yeah, how about the Mopar valve covers? I just did that to try and keep dirt out, not like it really matters. That being said, I'm going to start unbolting this thing, get it ready to come out, and the other motor will go in, or at least for the most part, next weekend. I've got some rodent repair to do. Look at that. Chewing on my wires. So anyway, I've got other work to do besides just putting a motor in it. But anyhow, putting a motor in is going to be the first step in getting this truck ready to run and drive. And I'm sure I've got my hands full ahead of me just yet. Either way, in other news, I did pick up a carburetor. Stand by. Okay, so in other news today, I did pick up a carburetor for it. Nothing fancy, just a little Edelbrock 600. It's a simple carburetor. I've used them. I've used Holleys. I've used Quadrajets. This one was cheap. It's pretty much like new in the box. Been run very short time, no calcium in or anything like that. For $100, can't go wrong. I still need an intake manifold to put it on. I've got the gaskets on the way to do the manifold swap, and we'll go ahead and put all that together on the other motor and get it running in this truck, and then we'll work on other issues. I know there's a bunch of you out there saying, well, hey, LS swap that truck. Why aren't you putting fuel injection on it? Why? Okay, look, I'm working with what I got. I'm on a budget, a minimal budget. And so it doesn't make any sense for me to go out and buy a motor and fuel injection hardware and everything else that I don't have when I already have a good motor. Like I said, I bought a carburetor for $100. I've got an intake manifold to pick up. That's going to be another $150, $200. I've already got gaskets coming for it. And so for the investment of my time and roughly $300, well, call it $5 when you put in the fluids and everything else, I should have a running truck. Okay, definitely less than $1,000. And I can't think of anybody out there that can do an LS swap with a running engine they found on Marketplace or whatever in the truck and running for $1,000. If you can do that, come on down. I can't. I don't have it. If I had access to it, I would. But for right now, I'm working with what I got. If I go ahead and stumble across a good deal on LS motor, I'll go ahead and I'll do that at some point. And we'll look at fuel injection down the road too. But for right now, carbureted small block 350 is what it's going to be, because that's what I can afford to do. So hang in there. I'm not saying that LS swaps are bad. I think it'd be kick-ass, especially considering that Kim's used to having a 454 in her C10. So this little 350 is going to feel like a little 350. It's not going to feel like that big block that she used to have. But then again, it's also been a few years since she's had a big block. So, they'll buy me some time. Anyway, hang in there. We'll go ahead and get this up and running, and then we'll see what upgrades come down the road. So anyway, there's the update on Kimmy's Jimmy, and we'll see you next time. Shade Tree Joe, wishing you all a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next go around. Have a good one. Be good to each other. We'll see you. Definitely springtime in Oklahoma. You got pasture full of wildflowers.